What is poppin' people? You got J Bear here, bringing you all the low tier Mayhem. I think it might be Madness. Low tier M draft league. And in this one, we got a doozy because if you had not watched our BBR run, we are coming off of a massive championship. And we obviously got all the pressure on us to run it back, you know? It's not the same league, but a lot of the same coaches. So yeah, let's see if we got that team. I think we do have the team that's capable of doing it again. So let's just go ahead and do it. If you enjoy what you see and you enjoy what you've been seeing, I ask that you please leave a like and subscribe. And working extra hard trying to get better at this game we call Pokemon. So if you want to come along for that ride, please do consider subscribing. As for the LTM, it will be uploaded on Sundays weekly, except for this draft analysis because of Mother's Day. We're pushing it up a day. But then, yeah, going forward, expect weekly Sunday uploads. And as for the draft format, LTM, low tier league, we got some low tier Pokemon. The draft board went up to 16 instead of 18. Best Pokemon allowed were stuff like Azelf and Crocodile. And we ended up at the 8th pick. You had 100 points, I think. Sounds right, to assemble your team of 9 to 11 Pokemon to win the league. And as you can see, we had with our first pick, we decided to take Mienshao. This was the 8th overall pick. And I took Shao because I've heard it really is not usually allowed in low tier. This one does kind of go like tad above what usual low tier leagues do, but Mienshao usually not allowed there. It was between Mienshao and Heracross for me. I wanted to secure one of these strong fighting types early. Dark types are pretty prevalent in the tier, and so having a strong fighter to be able to take care of those is pretty good. And I like Mienshao. I feel like it plays very well with me, where I'm someone who can, I think, pretty capable of aggressively getting in some of my more powerful frail Pokemon, and then be able to pivot them out. Regenerator's awesome. The Reckless matchups, they will be there, and they will be great, where you can just run like Reckless HJK, and 2 KO things that you are not supposed to 2 KO. It's awesome. But those matchups are not the most common. It just has to, when it's right, you know, and when it's right, you're clicking, man. Like, so awesome. Inner Focus, if there's like an Intimon, it's probably better to just run Clear Amulet Regenerator. But yeah, useful moves that Mienshao is looking at. You're looking at your fighting type coverage, right? Your close combat or high jump kick, typically maybe Drain Punch. You're looking at a lot of solid coverage options, knockoff, poison jab, triple axle. That'll get you most of the way there on Pokemon that aren't poison type. Poison type is the one struggle for Mienshao. So we're going to have to draft with that in mind, being able to beat the poisons. And I think we do a pretty good job of beating poison types. But yeah, up next, this guy, I've heard, probably one of the best Pokemon allowed. This is Gyarados. Normal Gyarados, you wouldn't say that about, but my Gyarados can terrestrialize. You have up to 24 points to spend on Tera Captains, and I bought Gyarados for 20. I think that this guy, he's going to be a big investment, but oh boy, in the Gyarados matchups, so hard to prep for. He's like capable of doing everything, right? You got a great setup sweeper, you got a bulky stopgap with Intimidate, and a pretty respectable bulk spread 95, 79 with the Intimidate, and then 100. It's pretty respectable. A very, very strong attack. We got double physical attackers already, but Mienshao, I think, is more of like a cleaner. Gyarados more of a setup threat. But Terra Gyarados also has the option to be like a Choice Scarf, Terra Flying Cleaner, and you just Moxie through. I really like Intimidate on my Gyaradoses, but Moxie is, when you have those Moxie matchups, you know. And that's kind of like what I like about these two Pokemon, right? You have a very solid like baseline ability, Regenerator Mienshao, Intimidate Gyarados. But you ultimately have these other options too, which just add another layer to the prep phase and another layer that my opponents really, really have to watch out for. And then common Terra types on Gyarados, there's so many, man. I gotta say Flying's probably the most common, but there's a lot of weeks where hazards are rough. Ground is great because it takes that electric type matchup, flips it on its head. Takes a lot of ground weaknesses that you're pretty well able to cover. Grass might still be a bit of an annoyance. And then you have Terra Electric's pretty solid too, very solid coverage option. Terra Water, stab tears are always pretty good. And I feel like you have just a lot of good Terra options, man. Like, it really depends on the matchup. But I can see, like, if there was a Tera Captain that I could see having, you know, 7 different Terra types in the 9 weeks, it'd be Gyarados. I think 3 of them would be flying, and you could have like 6 other Terra types. Like, Gyarados is him, man. Up next, Hatterene. The hazard removal in this tier with a lot of Pokemon that I don't really appreciate. And so I just wanted Hat, man. Like, it was great in NCP, and I feel like it will continue to be great. That's so bulky. I also needed a special attacker, and that's what I got Hat for, man. Like, it's a very solid option to be a Trick Room cleaner if you're able to do that. It's like it can flip the matchup on its head and break shit open or claim some kills. You can slap an AV on this thing and it becomes a pretty substantial special wall. Between like Drain and Kiss, Giga Drain, it has options to stay healthy, and Nuzzle's a pain in the ass to switch into, man. Like, super hard, especially when you're also throwing off a Stab Psychic with 136 base special attack. Like, very, very challenging mon to handle. But I really just got it because the Magic Bounce can take a little bit of pressure off of me to get the best removal in the tier, which was gone, or get like Pokemon that I didn't really want to use as my removers, like Tentacruel and Brambleghast. Like, no offense to Clyde about the Brambleghast, but like I just don't foresee myself really enjoying using that thing. Also means, you know, makes it a little bit easier for me to get Hashers onto my opponent's side, because I think Mienshao really appreciates spikes, especially like super, super nice for Mienshao, because then like the spike and the U-turn, and eventually you'll get through that poison type. It can't really wear you down with Rocky Helmet, so it's just great. I think that's a great combination for my Mienshao. Up next, Raikou. I have no words, man. This thing sucks. I don't know why. I thought like I could be like the Raikou savior, but no, it's just so bad. I needed speed that people would respect, and that's just about it. I did pay a lot for this Raikou to just be speed, but it actually theoretically has pretty good synergy with Gyarados, so I took it because you Volt Switch on grasses, and Terraflying Gyarados beats the grasses. You Volt Switch on grounds, and then Gyarados can just hard in on the grounds and then win. So, like, yeah, you just click Volt Switch, click screens, and that's kind of the things that I foresee Raikou doing. And yeah, I don't foresee it being super useful. Up next, you see I put Raikou, I meant Riperior. This guy's awesome. Like, I really needed my ground type. I thought that a ground would be awesome. Very, very important to lock in one of the best ones that I thought I saw remaining on the board. Solid ability with the lightning, or with the solid rock. Lightning Rod's a doubles ability. Oh my, I am cooked. But yeah, solid ability with the solid rock really makes this thing a lot more challenging to take out than you would imagine. Very solid setup threats. And our first stealth rocker of the team. It's a ground that it doesn't set spikes, but I was looking at not a lot of low tier grounds that actually set spikes that are like playable, right? Like, I'm not taking Sand Slash personally, but like other than that, it's like Toedscruel. I didn't really want Toedscruel. I actually did have Toedscruel on a couple of plans, but that's neither here nor there. But I think I saw this Riperior, and it was just speaking to me in a way that very few Pokemon have recently, so I just wanted to take it. Up next, Quillfish. I said this during my drafting phase, right? Like, right before I picked Quillfish, I was like, if I get sniped with Quillfish, man, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. This thing is, like, so integral to this plan, which, you know, you don't really want to say about Quillfish, right? But, like, look at it. It's my grounded poison. It's spikes and toxic spikes, which I think are very, very valuable to this team. A defensive water for when Gyarados terastallizes out of it. We got a nice little Intim backbone forming, which might incentivize clear amulet strategies. But I think the Quillfish, you know, it had literally exactly everything that I needed. It's the box filler, but in this case, it kind of does quite well. And I don't really have any overlap with my BBR winning team, but Quillfish and Overquill, they're kind of like cousins. So I thought that would be like a cool little way to carry on that team. But yeah, other than that, just grounded poison, bulky water, things that I needed. We are ground weak, and that does not get alleviated here with Bisharp. My next pick was the one before Bisharp, but no. Bisharp helps out with as my dark type, because we also kind of psychic weak. Bisharp, I think, is going to be a challenge to use, but I think it's super awesome, right? Like, our third 125 attack at physical attacker, which is really funny, but I think that this guy just has a lot of solid role here, and just like clicking Sucker Punch, I feel like It's not a King Gambit, very, very far from a King Gambit, but I think that it can do a lot of things that I maybe am asking it to do, as in get rocks, click at stab options, maybe sword stance and sucker punch a few things down. And yeah, I hope I can use it well. It also breaks fairies for me, which is something that I didn't really do too well before this, and that's really why I got it, because it was like a combination of breaking fairies and like helping to check psychics. Although they're just gonna click Focus Blast, but it's a very hard click initially with your psychic type when I have Bisharp and Hatterene, because Shadow Ball versus Focus Blast isn't going to get much progress across the board. And you're maybe gonna want to click a Calm Mind as my Bisharp switches in, and then I'll be faster than you. Maybe click like an attack as my Hatterene switches in. Like it has like some niche roles here, and I think that it can play quite well. Up next, we need a ground resist, a Bomb of Snow. I thought this guy would be super cool with Veil and my ground resist here. Clicking like Blizzard and like strong moves. Like it doesn't have a super strong stat, but like when you're clicking like Blizzard and Woodhammer, you kind of mask the fact that your stat is quite low by doing damage with the high base power. And that's what a Bomb of Snow is good for, right? And then you have solid Earthquake coverage for the steals and fires that would resist your stabs. And then just being able to like the snow boosts, being able to like actually check ground, which is something that I don't think a Bomb of Snow did too well last generation, but like really stepped up its game this generation. And yeah, so a Bomb of Snow, my ground beater, and I think it's gonna be super duper good. Up next, Dustmore. I wanted a spin blocker. We got a spiker. We'll get one more after this. We got 2 rockers. We'll get one more after this. And I think the Dustmore is perfect for what I needed it to do. It's really ascended in standard Scarlet and Violet, and I think that a lot of that ascension will play in low tier as well. Frisk is really a solid ability in Draft League because you can really discern a lot of information about your opponent's set just from their item. And yeah, I think Dustmore had what I was looking for. A little bit more priority doesn't hurt. You know, we got like Fake Out Mienshao, Quick Attack Raichu, Aqua Jet Quillfish, and Sucker Punch Bisharp, and Ice Shard Obama. So those are like the realer ones. But then like some Shadow Sneak on the Dustmore is also pretty nice. So I value my priority. And yeah, I just took it here because I've been impressed by the Dustmore results. One thing that I've learned is I really do like to take the results of things into account. And I like to see the results of them doing what they're intended to do, right? Dustmore has been great at spin blocking. And that's what I needed it to do, which is why I wanted to take it. Like Riperior is great at putting up the rocks, which is why I wanted to take it. Raichu is the exception to this rule. It's not good. It's never been good. So like it doesn't really line up with my drafting philosophy. But Bisharp is just something I wanted to try. But like Gyarados, very prolific setup sweeper and attacker in this tier. Something that I really like could not resist getting my hands on. And then lastly, Colossal. I wanted an actual rapid spinner, even if it maybe doesn't like do it super well. We got another rock that's quad weak to water, which I think is really funny. But these guys will be bros, you know, like Colossal, Riperior. I feel like they're gonna be like training each other up, you know, like by the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if Colossal had like a 130 HP stat, 150 defense, 120 Spadef. But no, I'm kidding. Flame Body rocks are pretty nice here. And then Rapid Spin Spike, like it checks about a lot of boxes. I don't know how bringable it will be, but I just wanted something in case of like those bad like hazard tag matchups where I really do think that it's playable. But yeah, that is my draft. Please stick with me for the rest of the season. It's gonna be a fucking blast, man. I love low tier. That's I like never played it pretty much, but yeah. Shout out to low tier. Shout out to the admin team of this one. Pretty similar to the admin team of the BBR. I actually like don't know who's in and who's out, but like I'll win putting on a league again. Pretty fucking awesome. Yeah, and I hope you guys see me winning another league maybe. All right, until next time, Jaber out. Peace.